Greetings, this is Frosty Thundertrot, and today I'm talking about my Elkin Ranger with the Warden build. This is my Elkin. It's a basic vessel. I named him Murdier after the form name for the Elkin. Has a race. The Elkin are okay rangers. But I would say in all but one instance, the half-elf is the best ranger. And it happens to be the one instance, and that is the Warden Ranger. Now, the Elkin gets plus Constitution, a little bit extra hit points since the Warden is a more melee build. It's a kind of a hybrid between the melee and ranged. Food regeneration rate, Elk can go through their chicken ticker quicker. Leather working, a lot of rangers wear leather armor, but the Warden can wear mail. Right now he's just in the intermediate stuff. Perception, this is what makes the Elkin the ideal Warden Ranger. Perception is the anti-stealth stat, and Elkins, along with a couple other things, are the only ways to raise perception. It's a very difficult stat to raise, and it's essential if you want to counter stealthers. That makes the Warden, especially the Elkin Warden, the anti-stealther character. You get 30 points of strength, which does absolutely nothing for you, and then you get bonuses to woodworking. Woodworking is generally a good trade for rangers, because you're going to want to be able to craft your own arrows, advanced arrows with different damage types, but has a Warden that's not so necessary, since I would say even though the Warden is balanced between archery and melee, archery is more of a backup weapon, but depending on how you set up your disciplines, archery can be your primary weapon and melee becomes your secondary weapon. As far as passives, Elk can get the Trailmaster, which means they're relatively fast out of combat without needing a mount. This makes them great for harvesting, I think, because you don't have to waste time to mount and unmount as you go from node to node. Bound, it's your basic dodge, and so tumbling, you just kind of leap in a certain direction. The active ability Headbutt, you charge forward and knock an opponent down. This is a good one for its Warden hunting, because if someone starts to run away from you, you can use this to close the distance on them quickly and do a knockdown. Actually, it knocks them up in the air first, then knocks them down. And then the last ability is Gestalt, a limited duration can see stealth, which is great. It doesn't stack with the Warden's see stealth, but it can work counter to it so that you can keep see stealth up more often, since it has a separate cooldown timer. Now, I've gone with Blade Master, which gives me penetration for slashing damage, gives me a couple different attacks, and Mole Hunter, which also gives me more abilities to detect stealthers and counter them. This character has Master of Axes. The weapon masteries are being phased out soon. I'm not sure which version they're going to be gone, but this is just kind of a tide me over then. But it does give me 6% slashing bonus, so I mean it works. Expansive Mind. This gives you an extra power bar slot. This is essential, almost a must-have. Demon Pact. This gives you a passive bonus power slot, another must-have. And then Elven Eyes. Elven Eyes increases the range at which you can see the nameplates of other players, most importantly enemy players, which helps you when you're trying to find rogues that have not stealthed up yet, or if you're using your spot ability to help pick them out, so they're moving around in the bushes and stuff. I wouldn't say it's an essential rune, but for what this character's meant to do, it's very important. For build, I just dumped everything into Dex. That's the nice thing about Rangers, is that they're pretty much a one stat class. I mean, everything on the decks. However, my attack power is not showing correctly. Because, seriously, my half-giant cleric has twice as much attack power and doesn't do anywhere near as much damage as my ranger. So, this is a bug. It's just not displaying correctly. Now for some alternates, instead of Blade Master, you might want to use Arcane Archer. But this is what I chose to go with. And there's several other good options as well. Let's take a look at our powers. I've got a lot of powers, as you can see. Now Flare. Now, see, this is something interesting. Can I put Flare into... Yes, I can. Great. There we go. So now with between Flare and Gestalt, I can probably keep almost constant, alertness while I'm running around in survival mode, harvesting. Very nice abilities to have. Heads up is, nice little buff. Alright, now for my melee tray, I've got Gleeful Strike, which in melee gives you restores your energy when you score a critical hit. Arrow Spin, which powers up your Dagger Spin, which is your spin to win power. Blood Price, which drops orbs as you damage enemies. Orbs can heal you and provide you with damage shields. Berserker Strength gives you a chance to increase your attack power. Sustain is the Ranger Ultimate. It gives you a lifesteal to regenerate your health as you deal damage. Alright, this is the Elkin Headbutt. Sweep. This combos into either Jab, which is a guaranteed critical hit to restore your resources in combination with Gleeful Strike, or you can Disengage, which will make you jump back and swap into Range Tray. Explosive Trap, which knocks everybody up in the air, can be dropped right at your feet in combat. Fairy Trap, which can also be dropped right at your feet in combat. It gives you a shield for every enemy that it damages, and when it damages an enemy, it applies Fairy Fire to them so they can't re-enter stealth. Dagger Spin is your spin to win. Very useful if you find yourself in a group situation, such as in a keep or something, where you can't just stand back and pepper away with your arrows. Bloody Strike, this is from the Blade Master. It's very basic. 3 has a bleed on the last strike, which bleeds also prevent people from entering stealth. Cross Slash is a 2-move combo that applies bleeds on both moves. Get 'em is a expose and knockdown from Mole Hunter, and then Alertness. This increases your perception and lets you see stealth for yourself and your group. This is your basic 3-point attack. On the third attack, it gives you 5% armor penetration. For range, go with Gleeful Strike again. Mental Fortitude, which reduces my energy consumption. Revenge, which gives you a bonus to criticals so if you're surprised attacked, which I would think that if I'm with this character, the only way I'd ever get sneak attacked is if I'm on a wall, something I'm focused on providing archery support during the siege. So I put it here in my range tray, plus I don't have room for it in the melee tray. Let's see here. Rapid Fire, this is comparable in total damage and time to your left click basic attack. But as to where basic attack is a charge up and shoot, you either hit or miss. Rapid Fire is a channeled ability, so you have to hold down the 1 key, and then it just fires a whole bunch of arrows. So some of them might hit, some of them might miss. You might spread them around to other targets. Treant Woodstake. This is the upgraded version of the Woodstake from being a Warden. It has no cooldown. It's an instant drop. And let's see. So if you want to, I mean, you can drop it in range tree and swap back to melee tree quickly. But it's really good in range because you don't move around as much when you're engaged in range combat. That's where melee you are moving around quite a bit. Ricochet shot allows you to hit more than one target with the same shot. A flare arrow, it's the ranged version of alertness. And barrage, it's the ground target AoE. So let's show off some of this stuff. Alright, sit. This is flare. Seven is assault. There we go. 9's our buff. Heads up buff. Yeah, so good luck on sneaking up on me now. Let's go to melee tree. Let's see, how far away are you? Now it says its range is 7 meters, but it's closer to like 20. So let's show you how this works. Don't. There we go. Basic attack it down. See, pretty effective. Jab. Oh, and there's Norb. There we go. Now I'm going to start combat with this one and drop some bombs. Where'd he go? Oh, there he is. Alright. Now, we have our spin to win. That works best on groups, of course. This is our Blade Master attack. More orbs to pick up. And Bloody Slice. I seem to have killed all the pigs here. Now, let's switch to range tray. Alright. We can drop our stake. This is the left click. This is rapid fire. Barrage. I don't think this is very useful in open field, but you know, in sieges it'll have its place. And then Echo Ricochet shot. So that's that. Overall, I'm enjoying this. As you can see, it does deal a lot of damage. I mean, granted, these are very weak enemies, but you know, I'm only using intermediate gear here. Go back to, and here you can see I'm starting to pathfind after. That's how fast you run pathfind. There we go. As I speed up, now we're going to go into Trailmaster, and I enjoy this class a lot. I use it a lot for harvesting since it moves around so quickly. But it's also a very good solo hunter. I mean, because there's a lot of assassins running around there solo ganking people. And the Elkin Warden is the answer to that. You're not going to win every one-on-one fight, of course. But the Elkin Ranger does have the durability and the tools to take down the assassins and duelists. So thank you very much for watching.